Good to see everybody today. Thanks for joining us. I am Jamie Cope with the WVU Industrial Extension, and welcome to our our Eastern Panhandle Regional Roundtable. We're doing these virtually now. I'll go ahead and tease a little bit that we're going to plan on doing a live event soon enough, hopefully middle of October in the Eastern Panhandle as well, getting back to doing some live events. So great to see everybody here. We're going to try to keep this as interactive as possible. Excited to have Jim Linsenmeyer with us and Greg Mason with AMS. And we're hoping that Mike Duane can join us from Kimpack, but I think he's having some technical difficulties. But we've got plenty of these roundtables coming up as well. I know some of you are kind of on the border of these regions, so it might be helpful to jump in on some others, but you can see these other roundtables. You're welcome to join if you just even want to just learn about what the manufacturers in those areas are doing. So if you want to sign up for those roundtables, it's the same place you signed up for these. That's wvmep.com, and then check out events.
Jamie, Mike is back with us. I just want
to fantastic. Glad you're here, Mike. So here, those are our featured guests. We've got Kimpack and AMS. Before we get to them, though, I want to do just a little bit of an introduction, just real quick about the WVU Industrial Extension. The real short of it is we like to work with manufacturers to help them thrive and grow. And we work with manufacturers all over the state. We have a lot of different services we offer, from quality to continuous improvement, health and safety, but we really like to just position ourselves as problem solvers. So we like to be the folks that you call whenever you're not quite sure who else to call, or if you know that you need a specific service like us. And we're really thrilled to be partnering with the state of West Virginia, and we've got Jim Linsenmeyer with us here as well. Jim, if you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing with the state there in the Eastern Panhandle, that would be great.
Yeah. Now, Jamie, I can't believe that you're actually excited to have me on your program. Okay. All right.
I'm being kind. We're in public.
All right. Thanks. The check's in the mail. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And again, you know, the purpose of this whole forum is to tout all the various services that the industrial extension can offer to our business partners, and also to make sure that from our perspective, our department, that you all know about the variety of assets that we can help deploy for existing businesses, whether or not they're in a growth mode or a decline stage or whatever. We're here. We've got two goals: grow taxable income, okay, by helping you grow your revenue, and increase number of jobs at or above the median wage. Plain and simple. How do we do that? We've got a workforce bucket that we have some grants that can help reimburse you for your expenses of training. And there's a number of other resources that we can bring to the table to help augment your existing training programs. The other bucket that we have is we have a couple of agencies under state government that can provide some lower cost loans for equipment and facility expansion. And we also have other funding resources that we can also bring to the table outside of the state agencies that are sponsors. The various incentives that we offer can reward businesses for their investment and their job growth. So again, we're here to help you stabilize your business, help you grow your business, and help to expand your business. I'll just mention very briefly a couple of other events that we have coming up in the future. One is Monday, October the 10th, Columbus Day. When we were visiting the folks from WVU several months ago, our department went up there and engaged with the School of Engineering, the business school, et cetera. And we found that WVU routinely takes busloads of students, upperclassmen, to various manufacturers and other businesses for recruitment purposes. So we raised our hand and volunteered. And on October the 10th, we're having a busload of students that are engineers, chemists, biologists, supply chain, business students to visit Clorox in P&G. But after those plant visits in the afternoon over at the Bavarian Inn, we're going to invite WVU alumni and other business partners to come over and do some informal networking and informal interviewing with these students. So we will be sending a note out about that in the near future. But we will be collaborating with WVU, the Industrial Extension, to advertise that event on October the 10th. The other event that we're going to have, and it's going to focus on workforce development, is October the 18th at Blue Ridge from 2 to 4 at Blue Ridge's Tech Center there in Inwood. And again, we're going to physically have a forum that focuses on workforce development and bring all the various resources that we have to help employers grow and prosper. So with that, Jamie had me on the clock, and he told me I couldn't have the 45 minutes that I requested. So I'll turn it back over to you, Jamie.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Jim. And you touched on workforce, which I'm sure we're going to be talking about that as we talk with Kimpac and AMS. And always a pleasure to work with you guys. It's great whenever we can coordinate and do things together. So if you've been on some of our virtual roundtables in the past, we're going to try to change the format up a little bit, and a little bit more interested in hearing some of the stories that specific manufacturers are dealing with at the time. I think I'm going to start with AMS since Mike was having some technical problems. We'll get to you in just a second, Mike, at Kimpac. But Greg at AMS was gracious enough to join us and share some of his stories. Greg, if you and I were sitting down at dinner and somebody said, "Hey, what do you do at AMS?" or "What does AMS do?" What's your elevator pitch? What is it that you guys do if you're talking to people who may not know who you are?
Well, we're somewhat like the extension, the industrial extension group. We're here to solve problems in vending and build vending machines. So to start with, my name is Greg Mason. I'm the Senior VP of Automated Merchandising Systems here in Carneysville. And to answer Jamie's question a little more in detail, we build vending machines. We were an innovator in the market years ago when we started up in '97 and came out with a patented guaranteed delivery system. So the problem was with the old vending machines, when the spiral would turn 360 degrees, a cam would say, "I made the switch, stop," and it would take your money. The problem was a lot of times your product was hanging up there, so you'd be shaking the vending machine trying to get your product out. So the way we started in the market, we said we got to solve that problem first. So we came out with a guaranteed delivery system that we put a sensor system down at the hopper that knew the product was coming down through there. So anyway, we've been very successful with that. And we have a sister facility in Guadalajara, Mexico, as well, that I oversee. And we just build all kinds of vending machines, from snack vending machines, food vending machines, soda vending machines, just a broad array of vending machines. But the biggest thing that we're doing right now is inventory control vending machines. So if you're in a facility and you wonder where all the product goes or what happens to it, or how you bought it, it disappeared or whatever, we want to solve that problem by giving you a vending machine or multiple vending machines to put in there. So we want you to actually, the stockroom or whoever, load the vending machine and it's tracked from that point. Don't give the employees or machine operators the option to go get the stuff out of the toolbox or wherever. That's where it gets lost. That's where stuff starts to happen. So we solve that problem and save you some money there with our inventory control vending machines. I don't want to go too long into all about AMS. I'll move on to talk a little bit about you guys. For those of you that don't know a lot about WVU and what they do in the extension partnership, I sit on the board there. I've been with them for quite a few years, and they come into our facility on a regular basis and train our employees on things that are problems for me. And whether it's training in first aid and safety, CPR and all, They come in and train all my team leaders and coordinators, whoever wants to volunteer for the course, train us on that. They train my maintenance department on lockout, tag out, and operators on lockout, tag out if they're needed there. Something that's recent to me, last Monday, I went down to Clarksburg and had a class by this group, and it was Lean 101. So many years ago, I'm sorry to say I don't remember how many, but many years ago, they trained their people at the old Sheraton in Martinsburg, along with some other companies, on Lean 101. And it was just about figuring out how to get a flow of something organized. So we started out, I don't remember the number back then, but we started out making this little control board that had a light on it. And in the end, we would put this together, and a tester would test it, push a button and turn the light on. Now, the last Monday, I went down to Clarksburg and we were working on a new training session that these guys are coming out with. And I would encourage you, if you have the training issues, the learning issues, the follow-up issues, the quality issues that I still have here, this is a good training tool to get in with. So what we did is we sat down and they trained us on what they wanted us to do. They gave us work instructions. And in round one of this training session, we were building airplanes the whole time out of Lego blocks. In round one, we completed 0 airplanes for testing. So there were 4 rounds, and through each round, we decided how to work together to get better at it. We didn't change anybody in the room. Nobody got a pay raise. Nothing major happened. We didn't bribe anybody with money or any of that, but communication, work instructions, that kind of stuff. And by the end of the 4th round, we completed 33 airplanes. So we went from 0, we couldn't get 1 completed in 7 minutes, to where in 7 minutes we completed and QC tested 7 airplanes. And that may sound simple to some people on the call, but the point of it is the things that you can do with communication and group training and work instructions and pictures and documentation, it's huge in the ability of what you could do in your own facility. And I just, I don't want to sound like a salesman for these guys, but they do a great job. Bring them in the facility, give them a shot. Yeah,
we appreciate that, Greg. And I think that Lean 101 training is because it's fresh in our mind, right? And it's something that we've been working towards. There are so many benefits in that are kind of undertones as well. I think whenever I've seen it done, there's it's a team building exercise as well, right? Everybody's learning how to work together. Maybe people who work on different sides of a facility are now sitting right beside each other, and they kind of get to see how the people around them work and get to know each other a little better, get to maybe experience even some leadership responsibilities through the course of this. So those Lean 101 trainings are really important, and that's why we've started putting a lot of our focus on that as well. So thanks for the plug on that.
All right.
And the safety, health and safety stuff too. You've established a long-term relationship with John Frazier. We were talking about that a little earlier, about how he's just a great guy. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about the guy. So anybody on the call, if you have something negative, just keep it to yourself, because I don't want to hear it. But yeah, I think that's one of those things where it's not necessarily that you guys can't do some of the things that he's doing, like CPR. There's probably lots of people who can do that, but because we've got the relationship and because John's doing other stuff with you as well, those kinds of things seem to work well with you guys. Is that right?
That's right. It's worked very well with us, and it's just, I have this peace of mind that if something happens in the factory, that I have enough people trained. Okay. Recent story, I had a small cut yesterday, and I had left for lunch. So, anyway, we had this huddle. So, and these are things that we were taught. So first of all, we take care of the employee, we do whatever, and then we have a huddle where we discuss what happened and how we're going to prevent this, and how we're not going to have another accident like this in another 2 minutes or for 6 years. And there's a lot of good training through there, and I highly recommend John or the group for that as well.
Sure. And not to leave our buddy Jim Linsemeyer out of this. I'm sure you're using Governor's Guaranteed Workforce on all of our trainings.
Well, we do, and there are times that we've got funding for the training and help with it, but the Governor's Guaranteed Workforce is a big help to us as well.
Sure. And Greg, we're definitely going to get back to you, but I don't want Mike to sit there too long without talking. I'm afraid he might take a nap on us or something. So Mike, if you want to give a quick introduction of who you are, and for folks that don't know about ChemPack, what's the elevator speech there?
Sure. So my name is Mike Duane. I'm vice president here at ChemPack in Martinsburg. And our company, we're a family business. My grandfather started the company in the 60s. My father is president and CEO right now. I joined on 4 years ago. And we are primarily an aerosol contract packager. So what we do is we partner with large marketers in the country to handle their entire chemical portfolio. So we will do their aerosol filling, any liquid filling they have, bottles, plastic bottles from 2 ounce up to 32 ounces. We'll do paint cans, so anywhere from a pint all the way up to 5-gallon containers. And we do some bulk filling as well. And so we offer a turnkey service to our customers. We handle the supply chain, so the procurement and the logistics. We do all of the chemical blending here at ChemPack. So we have a special flammable mixing area here where we do all of our blending. We fill the product and we ship it out primarily to the customers or warehouses. We do some fulfillment here at ChemPack, but most of it is make and ship. And we really offer a turn, we bring our customer from concept to commercialization. So we have a full service R&D lab. We have 3 chemists on staff who will troubleshoot customer issues, develop new products for them, or maintain current product lines that they have. So we've been growing a lot recently, and what we try to do, we want to be able to, we have a safety team here, but we also want to focus on our core competencies, and being able to work with the manufacturing extension, particularly on the health and safety side, allows us to do that. So mentioned John Fraser, he's been a great help to us. We've worked with him on a number of projects recently. So one thing we did was we asked John to come in and do a mock OSHA inspection for us. And so on our end, I mean, we take safety very seriously. We do everything we can to create a safe working environment for our team and to prevent issues. But, on our end, it's like, what are the unknowns here? So we wanted to bring in an outside expert eye to catch anything that we might be missing. And so John came in and he did a great job for us. And, fortunately, we're in great shape. There were some changes we need to make, but knowing what to tackle is really important. So having him help us out was terrific. And then he gave a training to our team on some of the things that he found. So we're able to live the philosophy of, safety is everybody's responsibility, same as quality. And the more people we can have trained and aware of the safety hazards, the better. So he was terrific with that. He's going to come back in November and do a 10-hour OSHA training for all of our managers and key employees as well. Then we've also worked with John to do forklift training. So we have all of our operators now certified and have their certification cards that from the training that John's done. We had done the training internally before, but now, we want our managers to be able to focus on what they're doing and not do forklift training. So this is a terrific addition for us.
Yeah, we get that a lot as far as we either serve as the safety person, which, a lot, if it's a really small organization, we fill that role. But a lot of times, it's not that you don't have the capabilities, it's just best use of your time, right?
Exactly.
If you've got somebody who could be doing something that's a much higher level, taking some of these smaller things off their plate, or just not even smaller, just side jobs, right? This is
exactly
their day to day. So we find ourselves in that role quite a bit.
Yeah, and on our end, we have a director of regulatory and safety. So he handles all the high level issues when it comes to documentation and making sure that we would be prepared for any inspection and setting our strategy overall. we have admin in the department who handles the paperwork and does daily walkarounds, that kind of thing. But then, like to your point, Jamie, the odds and ends through the year, like the fit testing, fire extinguisher training, forklift training, things that let's bring in an expert. And with the governor guaranteed workforce grant that covers 20 or 50% of the training, it's kind of a no-brainer on our end. So this has been a terrific addition. We just started working with you guys seriously in the past 6 months after, probably a year and a half of discussion and learning about how where there would be a fit. So it's been great on that side of it. And we're looking to expand the partnership here. And like, for instance, today we're meeting with Randy. I don't know for sure how to say his last name. Is it Kowalczak?
Kowalczyk, yeah, you're close
Kowalczyk?
enough. He'll answer to just about anything.
All right. Yeah, well, he's coming in after actually this afternoon to talk to us about the continuous improvement program. So we had such great experience on the industrial hygiene and safety that we want to expand and see what we're missing here on the continuous improvement.
Sure. And we don't have to worry about giving Randy a big head because he's not on this call, but yeah, he's fantastic. So yeah, you're going to enjoy him. Randy's one of our guys who started out, I think he was driving a fork truck at a small chemical facility up in the northern Panhandle and worked his way up to a management position. So he's kind of seen it all. And really brings a lot to the table as far as that goes. So yeah, looking forward to hearing how that meeting goes with you guys. Another thing that you mentioned was the mock OSHA inspection, which I always feel like I need to emphasize that when we do that, we're partnering with you to, obviously you see that you want to make things better and we want to make things better. There's always that cringy moment where I think the manufacturer's afraid that we're going to narc on them and report them to OSHA. And that is not our goal at all. We're here to partner and to make sure that everybody stays safe. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that. But one thing that we really haven't touched on, and since this isn't just a commercial for our services, I wanted to hear what you and Greg thought about like the workforce situation and how you're going through that. Greg was giving us a little bit of a frustration point earlier. We don't need to get into specifics, but let's go ahead and jump back to Greg for this one to start with. So Greg, as far as workforce issues, what are you seeing? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What can we do to help? What's the workforce situation like there at AMS?
I am, I'll say, struggling here and challenged to attract, hire, and retain. So right now, the Eastern Panhandle is booming with jobs. And when I say booming, it's people are stealing my employees. I got lucky enough to steal one from one of the major competitors the other week, but it's just a matter of throwing money at it now. People are everybody keeps increasing their wages on a regular basis to hire people, but I don't know how else to put it. My opinion is I don't think there are enough people that want to work for what we have in the area right now. Don't want to get political, but I think cutting some of the funding and other stuff that'll force those that aren't working, and I think there are very few of those, to get a job might help. But it's just things right now, we are really struggling to attract, hire, and retain.
Sure. How about you, Mike? You guys have everybody you need? Or are you looking for more? What's the situation there?
It's a mixed bag with us. It has been really challenging to hire, particularly the skilled positions. So, engineering, maintenance, chemist, people with supply chain experience, these skill sets, quality even, to Greg, your point, the price range for some of these positions is just kind of run crazy. Certain positions, are, we think should be, 70,000. They end up, you're not finding anybody for less than like 85,000, I'm thinking of a specific more skilled position that we tried to find recently. Sometimes in the market right now, you're lucky if you find somebody at the higher rate. And if you do, what we found is it's still kind of a stretch sometimes on the skill set, but the job market is such that they can ask that price and they're probably going to get it from somebody. So we've really been challenged to find the skill set we need at a price range that makes sense. And even the skill set we need at a price range that doesn't make sense. If we could find the people, sometimes we'd hire them, but it's just very difficult to find the people we're looking for. We've had more luck when it comes to operators on our production line. It's been challenging because, Greg, to your point, wages have gone up. We've had to increase our wages a couple of times to be competitive. And we're going to have to scale up here in the next 6 months for a new line we're installing. And I'm kind of nervous about how that's going to go. Just, getting in temp labor. We do temp to hire a lot. It's it's just challenging. I'm not sure where it's going. I'm kind of hoping with the way the economy is going, the labor market will improve for employers. But right now it's a real mixed bag for us.
Sure.
We've been able to find a few people, but we can't find the people we need to hire across the board.
Okay. And Jim Linsenmeyer, I know you're kind of like me. You stop in and visit a lot of these different folks. You have any insight on what you're seeing as far as workforce across the board?
No, Greg, Mike, we hear you all loud and clear. And that's one of the reasons why we're trying to do some things different. For instance, bringing a busload of WVU students over here. So we stop the brain drain. We have a significant amount of four-year college graduates in West Virginia that leave the state every year. So we're trying to keep our talent within our borders. The other thing is, and I'll drop it into the chat box, is that we have a collaboration with JobCase. We have a web portal that you can directly drop a job posting that through its social media platform algorithms, it targets folks that either live in West Virginia or want to live in West Virginia and work in West Virginia. So I'd be interested in hearing more from our business partners that are online at some of the hiring challenges that they have. But again, we're going to have an event on Columbus Day, October the 10th, with a reception over at the Bavarian Inn to give our business partners an opportunity to interact with some of these STEM students from WVU to try to attract and retain some of these skilled positions.
Jim, if I could just add, we've had the way we've had luck hiring right now is through internships, and probably the best conversion we've had for internships was prior to the pandemic. We hosted a class of supply chain students from Shenandoah University, and out of that event, we had 3 or 4 people apply for internships, and 3 we ended up hiring on, and 2 we brought on full time after that. And so we've continued to do internships. But the challenge is for small manufacturers here in the area is that it's not, it's very hard to get students in the door. Like if they can see what we do, I think they're like, oh, this is actually interesting, a place I'd like to be. Getting them in the door is the hard part. So Jim, I think it's awesome what you all are doing with WVU, and doing more of those where we'd be able to bring them to other smaller companies, not just the big names, or even maybe schools in the area here. We'd be happy to host events with you guys, and I'm sure other manufacturers here would, with even high school seniors who might be looking for jobs in operations or elsewhere, just to know what's here in the area. So they go to school, they know, oh, there's some place to come back to. Maybe some of the technical schools in the area. I think a lot of us would be happy to host and do tours, and then we could maybe get interns or hires out of that.
No, that's great, and that's a great lead in to Manufacturing Day is held in October. They turn it into Manufacturing Week and Manufacturing Month, but generally it's the first Friday in October. We're doing a few different events at different places around the state. We're gonna do some stuff at Almost Heaven, and we're gonna do some opportunities to introduce students to our manufacturing opportunities in the area, right? That's exactly what you're talking about. And we host a contest that we have just released. It's on our website as well, for students to design a piece of Blanco glass. And Tracy, if you want to talk about that a little bit, that would be great.
Yeah, it's our second annual student design challenge where we partner up with Blanco Glass. And the premise of this is to get students interested in manufacturing careers. And so students submit designs to us and Blanco, and we select a winner, and the student who wins gets to see all concepts of the design process, from creating the design through the manufacturing process and even marketing and sales. And so our first time we did it was last year, and we had more than 100 participants. So we're kicking that off again on October the 7th. And then we'll be with Jim and his team in the Eastern Panhandle for the tours with the WVU students. So yeah, if you're a manufacturer and you're looking to host middle school or high school students at your facility, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to help coordinate that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like a small thing, that design challenge, but to see a student go from, hey, this is in my head, to, hey, this is in my hand, is a lot of the hurdle. And for them to get to see those different facilities, like you say, so Mike, yeah, Mike, Greg, both of you guys, or anybody on the call for that matter, definitely reach out to Tracy. And I probably didn't introduce her properly. This is Tracy Straub. She does the marketing work at the WVU Industrial Extension. If you've noticed that we've had a bigger presence as far as social media and on the web and more events, that's because Tracy's doing a great job. So, but yeah, so if you're interested in, and it doesn't have to be tied into Manufacturing Day, we're happy to do that anytime. That's part of what we do. So would love to make those connections for you. And I think to Mike's point, I mean, the Manufacturing Day is kind of a big, broad, group. I think focusing on those technical students and the high school students probably makes more sense for you guys, and college students. We've also heard that interns is the way to go for a lot of people who are looking to hire in those technical positions. We have a lot of contacts with the WVU engineering school and fixing those folks up. So at this time, I think it's
Jamie, if I can interject.
Please.
Yeah, following up with Mike Dwayne's comments. Yeah, I'm going to put a plug in for both Blue Ridge Community College. Kim Moss is on the line, and they have an internship program which actually reimburses the employer for half the wages. And Donna Van Meter with James Rumsey is online also, and they also have internship programs. And both Blue Ridge and James Rumsey would welcome the opportunity. And Crystal Hoffman, she's on the line too from Jefferson County, of bringing either high school students or students from the local community college to visit local employers for recruitment purposes after they finish their program, or while they're enrolled in their programs to do internships.
Yeah, no, great. Yeah, and I see those people are putting their contact information in the chat, and that's fantastic. In fact, this is probably a good time to open it up for questions. If anybody would like to comment or question, just put that in the chat. We may even be able to unmute you and let you have the floor if we can technically get that to work. But love to hear from some of the folks that are on the call if we've got a chance. I'm not seeing anything yet. Well, I'll go ahead and ramble a little bit about our some of the solutions that we're trying to put in place to help with the workforce issue. One of the things that we have found is, little things will really move the needle. So we've been doing a lot of leadership training lately. In fact, we're even working on some new leadership training. What's been happening is with people shifting into new positions, more responsibility. A lot of them have not had the time to be nurtured in a leadership role. So we've been doing a lot of leadership training to try to get people prepared for those roles whenever they move up into them. We've also done a lot of job instruction, work instruction that should be able to help with cross training, which is a big deal if you've got people that are coming and going, or sickness or whatever else. Being able to cross train is a huge deal to get people up to speed really quickly, and also getting those job descriptions worked out so that whenever you make a job posting, you're actually asking for the position that you want. You know, if you say that you want a welder and you get 50 applicants, but none of them know how to weld aluminum, if you didn't ask for somebody who could weld aluminum, then it's your own fault, right? So we work with folks to kind of get what tasks are specific to a job into a job description so that those posts make more sense. Let's see. Oh, we got the job case stuff. Let's see. Learn and earn grant at Blue Ridge CTC. Contact Amber Butcher about that. Thank you, Amber. And it's good that we've got so many local manufacturers on here. It's good to see so many of you guys coming out for this. Oh, Michael Dwayne talked about John Fraser's work with safety related issues, continuous improvement work. Is it possible for you or someone else to send out details on John Fraser and whomever is available for continuous improvement? Yeah, sure, we can do that. We can definitely get that out. And if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, which I would assume most people on this call are receiving our newsletter, but some of that information is going to be in there.
Jamie, when I send out this video, I'll be sure to include John Fraser's contact information as well.
Sure. And why don't we just do the whole team? Why don't we?
Absolutely.
Because we haven't talked a lot about Mark Hinline, who does ISO training. I know Greg mentioned some of that earlier. He does the internal auditor work, and he's been doing some fantastic stuff there. And then we talked a little bit about Randy, who is doing our continuous improvement work. And we've got lots of other partners too. One thing that we haven't talked about at all is an energy assessment. And I know we've got that slated to happen sometime at ChemPAC sometime soon. And I know Greg has mentioned that we have done that at his facility as well. But that's a free energy assessment. We partner with the WVU Industrial Assessment Center. They come in and spend a day at your facility. They measure all kinds of possible places where you could save on energy costs. And a lot of times, depending on where you are geographically, if you implement the recommendations that are in their report, you can get a REAP grant to help cover some of those expenses. And I know that there have been a few folks in the Eastern Panhandle who have taken advantage of that. So if you're interested in an energy assessment, I'm generally the contact person for that as well. But I'm not seeing a lot of other. Oh, wait. Oh, he can also review your written OSHA programs. Yeah, we help with all of the health and safety documentation as well. So yeah, happy to help you put together a plan or work with your existing plan. So, all right. If anybody has any other comments, Jim, Mike, Greg, anybody want to finish up?
I'd be interested in listening to some other workforce challenges, recruitment, retention, and or any other topics that you would like to hear about during our October 18th forum at the Blue Ridge Community College. So if nobody's going to raise their hand, I'll be like the teacher in college and call on some folks. Gat, I think you're on the call. Any other comments or suggestions?
Oh, no, I'll just add that Randy was here on his way up to Martinsburg. I spoke with him this month. I finished with him and joined this conference. So he's hard at work, I can report. And we had a good meeting. It was great.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. He was excited to see what's going on with you guys. He called me and was wanting as much of a scoop as I could give him, and I said I haven't been there yet either, but that's on my wish list. So hoping to stop in and see you soon, Kat.
No, we've worked with a number of these organizations. It's been great. It's it's always nice to get help. There's plenty of work to be done out there, and I've had success with a number of these things. So I was happy to talk to Randy. We've tried to come up with some ideas that could be where he and Industrial Service can help us more. So thank you guys. Appreciate this.
Yeah.
Hey, and Kat, and speaking of plugs, if you can share with the group some of your expansion plans that you're in the midst of.
Oh, geez. Yeah, there's nothing better for the furniture business than to lock everybody up at home for 2 years. We've got swelling demand like a lot of folks do, and are in the process of doubling the capacity of our facility. It's still in process. It took us a year to get the steel to do our expansion. It's basically added about 40,000 square feet. And we've had a lot of help with the state. We couldn't get this done without that kind of help. And we're working towards hiring people and do such. We talked about hiring people. We looked at us. We've been able to add people. What we found is really our challenge over the last year, particularly last year, was just turnover. Turnover was a relatively modest number for us. It all more than doubled post-COVID. And that made more people we had to hire just to keep the level of employment. Those are starting to moderate a little bit, and we're having a little success. We still need more.
Sure.
Thanks, Kat. David Pancake from S.J. Morris there in Hampshire County. Are you on the call? Maybe you can tell us about some of your plans.
I was just looking for David on the list, and I did not see him on there, Jim.
Okay. He must have dropped off.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of work with him, and in the we're problem solvers. He's looking for some materials help. So we've kind of been a liaison between him and some WVU professors and some other manufacturers in the state. We've connected him with Seafoam and some others. So it's been great working with Dave on that. He's been a lot of fun.
Anyone else on the call that would like to share some woes or some successes? And I know we have a lot of different partners on the phone, industrial real estate brokers and so forth. But again, we just want to make sure that our other partners understand the resources that we have, not only for businesses that are here already in the greater Eastern Panhandle, but also those prospects that might be recruited to come to the Eastern Panhandle. Because again, we think that a rising tide will lift all ships.
Sure.
Hey, Jim, what about the Wounded Warriors? Is there any chance of reaching out to them relative to employment?
Well, we do have a program that I know only a little bit about, but our workforce group, Workforce West Virginia, has a military liaison and also a tax credit for hiring veterans. And there's another program, and the name of that program, I can't recall the name of it. It has an acronym, but in any event, it's a program to help employers recruit folks that are active or veterans of our National Guard. In the Eastern Panhandle, West Virginia ranks #1 as per capita active or retired military in the U.S. In the Eastern Panhandle, it actually skews even higher. So there's an organization that I'll try to drop in the chat box, not only for that particular program, but also a link to the military tax credit that our state makes available.
There's also the state program with Jobs and Hope as well, right? Which is second chance employees, I believe, right?
Yes, matter of fact, Aaron Gardner is the coordinator for the Greater Eastern Panhandle, and she has successfully worked with several employers as of late. Matter of fact, she just sent me an email earlier today about she was working with a wood manufacturer in Jefferson County.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer put some links in there for us. So
Yeah,
well, I
thanks,
think
Jennifer.
yeah, thank you. I think we're about to wrap up. We'll give everybody an extra 15 minutes to get ready for lunch, maybe. But as Tracy said, she'll be sending out a recording of this to everybody who was on the call. Feel free to share that with anybody who would like to, you think would benefit from seeing it. And feel free to respond to that email with any questions that maybe didn't get answered or that you forgot to ask while we were on the call and came up later. But we're definitely here to help. We'd love to work with you. So really want to say a big thank you to Mike Dwayne and Greg Mason for joining us. It's not we kind of put you in the hot seat there, and I appreciate that you guys are willing to do that for us. So I'm going to just and thank you, Jim Linsemeyer, as well for joining us on this and partnering with us on this. So looking forward to doing this in person, though, huh?
Great. Yep. We'll have a workforce development program at Blue Ridge on the 18th from 2 to 4. More information will be going out on that. And on Columbus Day, October the 10th, we'll have a reception for employers to interact with WVU students that are from the School of Engineering, the College of Science, and the Business School at the Bavarian Inn on the 10th from 4 to 6. And more information will be coming out by email.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll be in touch.
Great job, Jamie. Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks. Bye-bye.